Corbin, Enrique Bradfield Jr., and Jack Leiter. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach Corbin, and then we will go into questions for the student athletes. Coach, whenever you're ready.
Yep. Well, I think first of all, I acknowledge Cliff and his staff in East Carolina. As great as it is on this side, it's very difficult on the other side too. But they're such a good team in so many different ways, and they're a very good offensive team, which means that we had to be extra special on our side. But they had an incredible year, and I'm just I'm a big fan. Will always be a big fan of Cliff. That being said, because they're such a good team, we needed a very good pitching performance, and it's very difficult sometimes to follow one great pitching performance because of the resistance that you're going to find from the other team. And Jack has done that throughout the year. He's as good as it gets. He's a competitive kid with good stuff, and he too loves the arena of competition. And that was primary. That had to happen today in order for us to have a chance, in order to allow us to score a few runs. And then certainly Nick at the end, I was so happy for him because I know in the end of the regular season, as I told the team, it was tough for him, and I'm just glad he got that opportunity. Offensively, again, we did enough. Wisenhunt was good. Bridges was good. Their pitching was good. The big hit by Carter opened things up a little bit, but we knew that probably wasn't going to be enough. And certain Enrique sitting in there with 2 outs and just putting the ball in the right field line and scoring a couple runs, it kind of freed us up a little bit. So it's just so happy for the kids. It's just happy that they get this opportunity because it's so difficult to do. We've gotten there, and even Maggie said, this is tough to do, but you have to have some guys that have gone there before in order to go there again. And I really credit some of our older kids who have been there and probably created those types of centering points for the kids in order to move to this stage. So, and just let the kids talk.
Thank you, Coach. We'll start with questions for Enrique and Jack. Robbie, first up.
Hey, Jack. How do you feel your start today, maybe compare or measure up to your best starts this season?
I don't exactly know on that. I definitely felt pretty comfortable up there, landing off speed pitches and fastball counts and kind of mixing it up, and definitely just trusting the defense behind me. They've been so good all year, and they were good today. So, I'm happy about it because we won. I don't know how it compares to other starts.
Kayla.
Well, first of all, congrats to everybody. Jack, just what does it feel like considering you came in at a time where the season was postponed? You have your goal to go to Omaha every year, but this is new for you. I mean, what's the feelings like for not only you, but your entire team? A lot of these guys are new.
Yeah, it's an amazing feeling, and this is why you come to Vanderbilt for moments like this. And honestly, the season would have just felt incomplete if we didn't make it this far. So, I'm just happy for the team, and I can't wait to celebrate with them.
Chris K.
My question goes to Enrique. Every team seems to have a player that kind of juices the dugout up, gets everybody fired up on the team. What is it like with the way you've been showing your emotions on the field? Are you taking over that role with this team? And if so, could you talk us through that a little bit?
I don't really try and take over any role. That's just sort of who I am as a person. When I'm on the field, the competitor in me comes out to the fullest, and it's going to be there whether things are going good or when things are going bad. So that's just who I am as a person, and I'm glad I'm able to help the team get going and help them out there.
Chris Lee.
Yeah, Jack, it looked to me like you had 4 pitches working a lot of the day. Is that a fair way to put it, or did you feel differently about it?
Yeah, I would say that's a fair way to put it. I felt comfortable in the bullpen with with my pitches, and actually had a changeup today that was pretty effective, and that's the first time I think maybe all season, maybe second time that I've had that going, and it was just focusing on making a pitch, one pitch at a time, and whatever the right pitch was, I was comfortable throwing it.
Adam.
Yeah, for Enrique. I'm curious to know if you had visualized this. Vandy teams sometimes have expectations to get to Omaha, but did you expect this, or are you surprised you guys are going to Omaha?
When you come to Vanderbilt, there's no surprise when you get to a stage like this. We've been there before with teams past. We know how hard it is, and we know everything that we've gone through as a team. But this is normal for us. This is what we're here to do.
Thanks.
Aria.
For either of you, what was it like to see Carter get that big hit after, struggling a little bit coming back from his injury?
Yeah, that's what he's done all year, and I'm happy to see him back in the lineup. Really good hitter, and it was a good piece of hitting and a really big moment for him and for the team.
Joe.
Hey, Jack, on that changeup, I'm just wondering, when did you sort of discover that during the game? And then also, were there some moments here where maybe they were thinking off speed or breaking stuff and you snuck that fastball in as well? What about just the mixing of pitches today?
That's always the goal, to keep hitters off balance. I didn't throw my first changeup until maybe the third, and I thought it was good. But it was he took it for a ball a little bit off the plate, and then I threw it again. I think the same hitter. It might have been Worrell, the lefty, and he swung over it. So I kind of just, it surprised me a little bit because the changeup's a pitch that I'm always working on, and to see feedback from the hitter, swing and miss, was helpful.
Chris Lee.
Enrique, were you surprised that they pitched to you in that spot? And were you surprised you got a pitch that caught as much plate as it did?
There was no surprise that they were going to pitch to me. I was just getting ready in there. I cleared my mind after my last at-bat. I was just focused on getting a good pitch that I could hit. And I got one that I could handle, and I just put the bat to the ball and let the rest happen.
Adam.
Yeah, Jack, there's been a lot of great pitchers here, and not all of them went to Omaha. I'm curious to know is there a level of satisfaction for you that you're going to get to join that club that gets to pitch in Omaha?
That's why you come to Vanderbilt, and you have to get through a really difficult season in the SEC, and then really good teams in the regional and super regional. So it's definitely not easy to do, and we're not going to take that for granted, but I'm really just happy for all of us, for the team.
Thanks.
Chris K.
This question's for Jack. TD Ameritrade tends to play large for hitters. How do you approach it mentally to get ready to pitch in that environment?
I would say that obviously only helps us. I think as a whole, our team gives up fly balls. We like to elevate fastballs and work off of that, work off our fastball. And I especially think it helps us because of who we have in the outfield. Obviously this guy and Javi lately, and then Isaiah's really good out there. So they're all pretty fast. So I think that'll definitely play in our favor.
Tom.
Yeah, this is for both players. Can you kind of summarize what this journey has been like? Defending champion 2 years ago, going through no season last year, no fans at the beginning of this year, and now the fans are back, the excitement's back. Just kind of put it in your own words what that journey has been like.
This journey's been special for everybody in the organization, players, staff, and everybody associated with us because we faced so much adversity as a team. And one thing remains the same is that we've been able to lean on each other, and we always find our way back to each other, and that has helped us get through the rough patches, the injuries, whatever it may be. and we're still standing and we're still here.
Yeah, I mean, for us going into the season, there's obviously some uncertainty on what the team was going to look like because we didn't even have a season last year, and some of the older guys from last year left. So, I mean, to see the journey, the way it played out, has been really special.
Seems like a good place to end it with the student athletes. We'll now move into questions for Coach Corbin. Robbie, go ahead.
Hey, Tim, what is, getting back to Omaha effectively for the second straight time mean to you and to the program, both considering like from a consistency standpoint and also since you lost last year?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just happy for the team. We're a completely different team. So just to be able to gain some experience throughout the year, play a tough SEC schedule, play well on the road, to go through a tough regional and then another super regional. I mean, this road was not easy by any stretch. A lot of kids who were on the field for the first time. You had some kids that even that were with the 2019 team never on the field. So to do it with this group is special. But you said consistent, and that's how I would characterize them. They've been very consistent in their behaviors, and because of that, they've put themselves in good situations.
Kayla.
Hey, Coach, you talked a little bit about Leiter's performance today. He spoke briefly about the defense, but how big was it for them to back him up today? And then can you talk about CJ Rodriguez behind the plate and some of the big plays he's had in the series?
Well, Jack had to mix against these guys. I mean, they know he's got a very good fastball, but, we talked about Williams yesterday and trying to hit, a fastball at 97, 99, and then a kid that makes a kind of a mid-game adjustment and starts dropping another breaking ball in there, and it's very difficult for the hitters. This is not a video game, so if you're going to have any success as a pitcher, you have to be able to mix your pitches and your secondary pitchers and hitters counts, and lead pitches too, to lead off the at-bat with maybe a different pitch than a fastball to get them off the fastball, and that's what he did. He was so effective, and if you don't do that against that group, I mean, listen, we gave up one run, and if anyone is a fan of college baseball and watched East Carolina throughout the year, they understand how difficult of a team this is. Everyone, all the coaches that I spoke to said this team is very real. They'd be one of the top teams in the SEC. So we just did an outstanding job of pitching, but Jack was great in every way. You could tell he had good confidence coming off the mound. It was a very hot day. He contained his heartbeat really well. He was efficient. He got deep into the ball game. It's what you want out of a starter, and so many times that doesn't happen. So he was just outstanding.
Chad.
Tim, you mentioned earlier how difficult it is to get to Omaha. Was it even more so this year, given COVID, all the injuries you guys had to overcome, and just the relative youth of this team?
Well, I think the injuries are real. I never talk about them because it's kind of a next man up situation. But those are real. We've lost Dominic at the beginning of the year. We lost Tate 2 different times. Lost Carter. Parker Noland has been tremendously valuable in the fact that he's played first, second, and third just on a whim and never blinks, and just plays very good defense. We lost Jason a little bit. The center fielder has been the only guy that's really been the steady guy on the field. And, it's been a great thing. He's 110 pounds and he's played 60 games. So we've stayed healthy and staying healthy. I'll tell you, the thing about 2019 is we were very, very lucky. And I say the luck because of health. We just didn't lose anyone to health. And you have to have some of that in order to be good.
Joe.
Yeah, Tim, you obviously happy for these kids, this particular group, having this experience. But just for you, I mean, what is it like in a situation like this, a moment like this? How is it different, say, today compared with like the first time getting to Omaha?
It's no different. I take great pride in enjoying what the kids are enjoying. And that's how I feel. If they're happy, I'm happy. That's all I care about. I guess I'm just the passion police. I just make sure that every day they come ready to throw everything they can into the environment, and that's it. I don't get upset about anything but just that, and that's it. If they're playing and they've got the environment and you give them an opportunity to play, then a lot of times they're going to create very good situations because they've earned it. I mean, they attack the practice field that way every day. So I'm happy for them. I'm just happy for them. It will always be that way, just to watch their joy.
Adam Sparks.
Tim, a year ago, what was your mood? What was your outlook on things? And compare that to how this summer's going for you.
Mood right now at this time, a year removed?
Yes.
Somber. Very somber. It was tough. It was really tough. Just didn't know if we were going to get back to normal again. I mean, everyone's going through a difficult time, but, I was sitting in that office by myself and just I was just hoping that the kids would get back to school. I figured if we got back to school, we'd have a chance to do something. But as I told them, it wasn't a given. Even though we were operating in the fall, there were several times that these guys were removed from the training environment because of being a close contact. There's a level of frustration that's associated with it. They go home. A bunch of them got the virus. I mean, it was a real thing. And the fact that we could withstand that and then gain some momentum and just kind of put some things together, get our classroom back together again. And then, I felt like if the NCAA, because I knew we were playing well, I felt like if the NCAA would grant just 100% capacity, then I felt like it would give us a good chance to gain some momentum once we started playing at home. Because we played so well during the course of the year to give ourselves an opportunity to host a regional and super regional. If you don't do that, it becomes very difficult. Not to say you can't do it, because we've been very close on the road when we've won on the road at Illinois, but it's much better to do it home. And I'm just so appreciative of the fans showing up and being present for this and supporting these kids. It means so much to these kids, and it means so much to our staff.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Chris K.
So, Coach, with the team being so young, it's obviously the youngest team in the SEC, possibly one of the youngest in the nation. Do you look at maybe going to Omaha a day early to get them acclimated to the environment, let them hang around the stadium a little bit, see what it's like, get a feel for it? What is your process looking for coming this week?
Same process. I'm not going to treat our process any different going to Omaha. I'm fortunate enough to be there 10 times as a coach, and then as a every year I have to be there anyway. It's a whole lot better to go with your team, but done the same thing all the time. You have a plan, know how to execute it. You got to get the kids there. We'll enjoy the environment for a day, and then after that, it's we get to work. You don't want to go there and you don't want to go there and be locked in. We'll know how to get locked in, though. I'm looking forward to the challenge with the boys.
Chris Lee.
Tim, talk about what it says about your team that you pitched and defended as well as you did. I think you allowed one runner past second all weekend. That's hard to do against anybody, much less them. What does that say about the team's focus under all the pressure that it's under of expectations and knowing what's at stake? To do that in that setting is pretty incredible, it seems.
It is. I mean, it takes a strong focus to play very clean baseball. This game is difficult, and to come in and get two very well pitched games and to play defense, outfield and infield, and behind the plate. I forgot to mention C.J. Rodriguez because someone asked me about that. His catching is outstanding. The ball stays in front of him the entire time. And the thing is, it's like a good umpire, a good catcher. Sometimes you don't notice them. And the reason being is because they're so clean in what they do. But from Brownie calling pitches to the pitchers executing the pitches to CJ catching the pitchers, that's a triangle that has to be very good at what they do. And I give Brownie a tremendous amount of credit. Sitting in his seat is very hot. But when he calls a pitch, it has to be executed by the right guy, and then it has to be caught well, and CJ does that. But I think, just from a defensive standpoint, we've talked about pitching defense all year. It's really what gets you to this point right here. If you can hit, that's kind of icing on the cake, but you have to do these two things first, especially this level of baseball, because the margin between the teams is so thin, and the kids are tough. They're tough, and I appreciate their toughness.
We'll go two more. Aria, then Chris Harris, and we will call it a day. Aria, go.
And what went into the decision to move Carter Young up in the lineup for the Super Regional? And also, what was it like to see him get that big hit today after, he struggled a little bit at the plate since coming back from injury?
Well, I thought it brought us some familiarity when we moved him to the 2, because he had been hitting there all year. And the only reason we didn't do that a few weeks ago was just because he was coming back from an injury, and he's still coming back from an injury. He's still trying to work through it. He hasn't hit right-handed very much, and I'm sure he doesn't feel right yet, but this will be good going into this week. But it was good to get him up there. Very happy for him to get that hit. It reminded me of the one that he had where he fouled off all those pitches, then hit the ball over the fence a few weeks ago. I mean, it was just a gutty at bat. It really was. I think he did a good job of centering himself. He missed a pitch, or the umpire called a strike, and I could tell it kind of threw him off a little bit. But I thought he did a good job of gathering his emotions at that point and just being able to sit on a pitch and just flick it in the outfield to score the runs. That was a big 2-out, 2-strike hit.
Last one, Chris Harris.
Hey, Tim, you talked about momentum a little bit earlier. I just wonder what it says about your guys. You went 5-0 in the regional and super regional, and this is coming off of the SEC tournament. What does it say about their ability to kind of hit the reset button and elevate when the stakes are the highest?
Well, I think they're very aware of playing in the conference that they do, and it's very difficult to finish a tournament. I mean, would it be great to win the SEC tournament? Of course, it's great. But the reality is it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't. You have to reset immediately after the season and after the tournament, because you know that the level of baseball that you've played during the course of the year is going to set yourself up for an opportunity to play deep if you play well. And the guys know that. The guys knew that they were playing tough baseball all year, and they gained some confidence by doing that. But I thought they did a great job of resetting. We reset as a team, and then we just attacked the regional. The regional helped us in this series because it was a tough regional. I think one situation has helped the other. Kentucky helped the regional helped the super regional, and then you hope that with our experiences, they help us in Omaha. And the guys need to enjoy themselves right now at a mature level and enjoy what they've done, and then we'll get back together tomorrow and kind of reset ourselves again and get ready for the next big one.
Coach, Jack, Enrique, congratulations. Thank you very much for joining us.
Can I say one thing before?
Absolutely.
I know this is Adam Sparks' last day on the beat, and Adam, I just want to thank you personally, our staff and our players, for covering us the way you did over the years. We really appreciate it. I appreciate your patience with us, and even though you've told everyone that I'm the highest paid coach in the universe, I have enjoyed what you've done for Vanderbilt baseball and Vanderbilt athletics in general. We've got a gift for you. So we've got a nice shirt, and it's in a frame, and we want to present it to you at some point. So thank you very much, Adam.
Oh, wow, Tim, I appreciate that. If you're that nice, you may keep me around longer.
I think Aria's got something to say with that.
Yeah. I think
Out the
so
door,
too.
Adam.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks, Tim.
Yep. Thanks, gang.
Thanks, everybody.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.